procrastinating. See how long I can make this video. So, I've been procrastinating on a couple. See how long I can make this video. So, I've been procrastinating on a couple videos lately. I'm trying to get back to them, and one of. Okay. Should have the stream going. Hello to anybody that's here. And my new setup, well, I guess not new setup, new schedule of streams. Oh, I just bought my cat. He's been sitting under my chair. Come here, buddy. But I have my new on-forward plan will be normal streams on Saturdays, and then on 100 Years Quest chapter days, we're going to have a stream. So, that being today, I just got 100 Years Quest chapter today. I'm waiting for it to come out. But at the same time, until then, I'm going to stream. It doesn't mean... I don't think I'll shut down immediately if the chapter comes out, but it's just something to wait on. But for now, we can talk about some of the chapters. Obviously, this takes place after the Shonen Jump chapters came out. We got 2 Eden Zero chapters today. We had the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse chapter. We had a good amount of stuff all set up today, and I'm pretty excited just to talk about a lot of the chapters in general. The Erza one, I was actually really surprised. Have I seen Invincible? You mean Invincible? I have seen Invincible. I like it. I think it's pretty good. I've been trying really hard to avoid spoilers on the comic book, so I can watch the show blindly. Because that's one of the things that's really unfortunate when it comes to, like, whenever a new anime comes out that pops. Chances are I've read the manga and I'm gonna know what happens. So I don't get that blind watch through that a lot of people get. For a lot of series, so I've been at least a lot of big popular series that are like within my bubble. It's not like every show, but you know what I mean. Of just like it's different when it's like when Jujutsu Kaisen came out, everyone's jumping on that. I already read the manga, so I knew everything that was coming up. So outside of like animation adaptation, nothing was gonna surprise me. But anyway, how's everyone going here? We got a couple people. I know this is it's a different day than my usual schedule. I'm trying to do it on, the every other Tuesday on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest chapter days. So, I don't expect it to be as plentiful with people as my normal streams. Anybody who shows up, it's cool with me. Mostly just to chat about anything that actually happened with the officials out. That's one of the big things when it comes to the Saturday streams, is not everybody, I would assume, looks at the spoilers. So they don't know everything that happens in some of the upcoming chapters, whereas like now we have the Shonen Jump chapters out, the officials out for Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, and we can talk about all the craziness that's been going down, because I don't think a lot happened in chapters this week. Within the last week, it was even funny because Fairy Tail, even in Fairy Tail and Eden Zero, and 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, perfectly honest, they were also setups. I think a little bit more happened with them than, say, like what was going on in like Black Clover and whatnot. And a lot of stuff was on break too, so unfortunately we didn't get a lot of just general content this week. But even in the Fairy Tail, we still got some nice description of like Erza's new armor and whatnot, and that setup at the end. That was definitely my favorite end chapter of the week, and it's not just because it's Fairy Tail. Suzaku and Natsu interaction, and the thing about that's so exciting is they're gonna immediately fight. There's no way that they're not going to immediately clash. Like, Suzaku sees Fairy Tail currently as an enemy. Natsu isn't going to take kindly to that at all. They're going to brawl, like, the second, like, the chapter starts out, I would assume. And which makes me really excited, not from just a fight between these two characters, but I really want to see more of what Suzaku can do. And plus, I think they should do away with the whole Suzaku as a red dragon is going to be fire-based, just from the fact that, like, then Natsu should have no problem with it. Especially if it's one-on-one. Make some in the comments if Fairy Tail and Black Clover characters could become Lantern Corp holders. What lantern do you think they'll be? I'd have to look at some of them. Like most of them, I would assume would go with things like hope and willpower. Erza might go over to Indigo. There's not like I don't think any really that would fall into like greed, except for like you count like people like Ivan or Goldring or stuff. Max, do you review Eden Zero? Episode 1 and 2. I'm gonna wait for the officials to come out. I know some people have gotten on the early episodes that came out because they screened the first 2 episodes early if you bought like digital ticket and whatnot. But I'm gonna wait for the officials. I'm gonna wait for the official releases. Guys, I also want them in HD is one of the things about it. I want to have it as like the nicest quality. Because one of the things about Eden Zero that I've always agreed with Mishima actually on that is that Eden Zero will look way better as an anime versus a manga just from the fact you'll be able to see like a lot of the colors and the fluid motions a lot better. Like I really like Fairy Tail's art and stuff, and as well as Eden Zero's, but like the difference between Eden Zero and Fairy Tail and just like the general art like presentation is with Eden Zero and stuff like space, and then obviously like he's anti-gravity movement and whatnot. It's gonna look it's gonna be improved like a much bigger amount than I would say than like the animes would be from Rave Master to anime versus Fairy Tail to anime. I do think if you really compared all three of them, not even talking about animation quality and stuff, but just about this series in general, you're gonna end up seeing I think Eden Zero having the most beneficial increase from the anime, as long as they do as they should with like the general fluidity again of the movement, keeping space backgrounds and stuff all colored. Ether Gears as well. I think Ether Gears will look much better in the anime just because they are colored, so they'll all have that individual vibe to them. Did the new chapter come out? The Raws have been out since this morning. It's the fan translation that we're waiting on. In case you didn't know, green. I know what the colors are. I think I'm trying to wonder because like I know they added ultraviolet not too long ago. And that was, I think, Hatred or something. I know there's, like, the basic 7, you have black and white, and then you have Volthum, who has the color spectrum, and then over to, it was John Stewart's the one that became Ultraviolet with, Sinestro, and, in an event not that long ago. I haven't seen a fan translation anywhere. Right now, I've been keeping the tab open to update for the fan translation when they come out. Real quick, I'm going to send out a tweet. I got to send out one for the video I just uploaded, and then I'm going to send one out for the stream, get some people in here, get some chatting, and see how things are going. So just ask questions if you got any in the... Oh, they also added gold? I didn't see that. I like to check that out. I didn't know there was gold. I know they've been adding some new ones lately. Not like a ton, but I know Ultraviolet, because that's not that long ago. That was only a couple years ago. Let me tweet this out really quick, and then I will get to tweeting out the stream, and then we'll get to more of the comments. I'm trying to think of what to type in this video. Let me actually, here we go. I'm just gonna put this. Okay. So now I can just tweet out the stream and get to going, and then we can just kind of do a normal chat, talk about whatever is going on, figure out like what exactly is everyone's favorite parts in the within the month, within the chapters that came out. I am really worried, actually, as something it will open like before getting to all stuff. I am hoping very much that the rumors about Build King getting axed are not true. I do generally really like it, and I really like the spin, like the plot twist they had in the last chapter. I thought that was really cool, just because I would have figured, I won't go into any spoilers in case maybe it doesn't get axed and anyone wanted to pick it up. All I would say is like the main character and his rival they have the opposite powers that I would have expected them to have, and I thought that was really cool in general. I am hoping that the axing is not the case. If it is, that it's out of my control. I would hope more that Shimabakuro doesn't let that get him down if it does get axed, and he either tries again in Shonen Jump or goes to a different magazine. I've never been a huge fan of Shonen Jump's way too quick to axe mentality. Like they have always been super sharp on it. I'm trying to think of what to put in this other stream now. I'll just say comment chat. Relaxing manga recap stream. There we go. Easy. That actually is pretty easy. I'll just put a freaking bunch of the hashtags. Get the Fairy Tail in there. Get the Black Clover. Get the Eden Zero. I think that's pretty good. I put the Build King in there. I don't know if anyone's gonna... as long as I can get, like, one Build King fan in here, that would make me more than happy. Oh, and Four Nights the Apocalypse, because I do like Four Nights the Apocalypse. Let me write that in there as well. Yeah, it was another thing. It was another series that had a freaking setup cliffhanger chapter. Like, we really didn't have much for straightforward chapters this week. It was all set up and in continuation on stuff that was already going on. But the stuff that was already going on went super quick. Asta clapped season 1 Natsu. Like, current Asta? I mean, yeah. Like, if you want to go by the anime, that's at the end of the fighting festival. So, like, right after he fights Laxus. So, yeah, of course, Natsu's not mini at that point. That was way before Natsu started to get really busted. But do you know the armor's name yet? I saw a rough translation. Let me look for it real quick. It had a pretty cool name. It was like 1,000 cleat. Let me see. It's called, at least in this translation, Armor of 1,000 Hands. So she's got the Senju hands going on right now. The thing with that I'm wondering if it has any other effects, because from what I can at least tell, it's essentially just extra arms that are powered up, like kind of worked through the whole way that the like that car was at the beginning of the series, because the magic tech has always been set on draining your magic a lot more than like conventional means of using it. And I'm wondering if Erza's gonna have anything different with this set for like beyond this, or is this like the opening to her having more complicated armors? Because Erza's never been one, like, none of her armors are really that complicated. They're all really easy in explanation of what they do. They're really all just one trick things, but she's able to, you know, switch out so many of them and have such a big arsenal. Have I seen Invisible? I answered this question. Can you not hear me? I don't know. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm like, legitimately, I wonder if if you couldn't hear me or something. But it looks like my mic's going through. I have seen Invincible, assuming that's what you're talking about. Gotta put full volume on just to hear. Let me turn it up. 1 second. I'll turn it up for you. What about now? Is that better? I'll turn the gain up too. Tell me if that sounds better there, bud. Let's see. We all know the a war for Eden Zero was going to come eventually. Humans versus androids. I'm really expecting to like start seeing Ziggy make his moves. Like, if Ziggy doesn't take advantage of the whole army coming in to go and attack Shura, then he's got to have something scheming. Maybe he'll wait until their weekend and then swoop in. I consider Season 1 Fairy Tail everything before X. No, the Season 1 would go up through... would go up through the fighting festival. Would go up with Laxus's arc, because that's where the first chunk of Fairy Tail ends in the anime. That was the first season of where the anime went before, you know, oh, are we gonna get renewed for a second season and whatnot. Oh, make sure nobody spoiled the chapter since some haven't read it. I'm not trying to talk too much about it. Luckily, there's not a ton that I think is spoiler outside of the end. The end is the big spoiler, but I feel like it's one of those things people get stoked for. Ever watched Pet Girl? No, I have not seen that. I have no idea what that is. Have I seen? I read this. Have I seen Invincible? Assuming that's what you're saying. Yeah, it's better. Okay, cool. Let's see. I think Season 3 ends after the time skip. I think where the anime of Season 3 is listed to end is right before Sirius Island. I'm not too sure, though. At least I believe. You think Asta and Yuno will be stronger than all the captains after this beta arc? I assume so. Like, the captains... A lot of the captains, I don't know how they're going to really keep up, because even Charlotte's thing is, Charlotte's is so situational. Not situational, but it's... Well, I guess really it is, because it's her boost is only going to be that effective against curse users, so her general magic and stats and stuff, I don't see really what she would do to Asta or Yuno. And then when it comes to like someone like, say, Jack, like Asta versus Jack, it's literally just an old-fashioned slash. Like, they're just going at each other, trying to cut each other. The only difference is Jack will get faster, but Asta has key sensing and stuff, and Asta has this whole anti-magic canceling pulse that he can do with the Demon Destroyer sword now. We're about to go berserk next chapter. I am hoping so bad that that Build King isn't getting axed. I want to see where he goes with this. Like, it was such a weird twist I wasn't expecting. I was thinking their Vigors were going to be either black and white or gold and silver, and then Tonkachi black, Renga white, and then it was like, okay, Tonkachi's Vigor is gold, so Renga's must be silver. This is a really big twist. I actually thought this was one of my favorite reveals in the series so far. And I'd be so curious as to where he take it. I'm a big fan of the whole concept in the series where the Build Kings are like this mystical wonder of the world. And if you manage to somehow earn the favor of one and it lets you live in it, it can gift you one of its godlike vigors. And you can pretty much get like a super broken OP power. Like you can gain some unheard of top tier ability if this house, like this mystical building, allows you to have it. Like I thought that was a really cool concept, and one of the things I really like about the oddness of Build King. And again, I'm hoping it continues. I don't know though. It's really going to come down to the reveal of what's getting axed next. The thing, like the reason though that they think it's Build King, it's like Manga Plus's ID didn't get renewed. I'm very curious about Manga Plus and wondering if like somebody just didn't do it. Because I went and looked on there the other day and Build King had like a little over 51,000 views. And then I checked again now and it has just over 50,000. So I don't know how it lost views. I thought that was really weird. I don't need to like get all tinfoil hat, but it does kind of like make you know, And like the thing about acting Build King that's really, it would be more confusing is they just put out, like, Volume 1 just went on sale, and they just put out the first 2 episodes of the first two chapters voice acted. So I don't know. It'd be really weird to axe it now. Like I said, though, if it does, nothing I can do about it. They'll just make me bummed. How do you think Natsu would handle the Human Torch? He'd eat him. Just eat him, man. Do you think E&D becoming its own entity, leaving out Spot, would be a good villain for a Fairy Tail? Oh no, if there was a Fairy Tail Black Clover crossover, I'd really want the villain to be some old Merlin type wizard. Some old, kind of like August, if August wasn't like a combat wizard, essentially a version of that. Let's see, Rex, do you feel about Mission Yukiko's family's future and more potential big bads? Right now, my only concern with it is they're showing like a lot of stuff that I'd wonder what would come after. Like, was it Shion's ability as she's like she becomes this super mega computer in her head? Like, how would she ever run into any opponents beyond this? Hers was the only one that I was kind of like, hers is a little OP in how it would work. But I mean, I don't know. They can probably figure out ways around it. I'm sure that the author has some idea and is not just writing to write. But I do think it's interesting, like the general setup right now, just the showing all the the main cast abilities and whatnot. That's been pretty fun. Where the series, when you say like the future big bad, that's where the series' longevity and potential exists. Is if they're able to establish logical opponents beyond like stuff with this and these bad guys. I can't remember what their names are off the top of my head. I know of them. Like I can think of the main bad guy and his dandelion hair off the top of my head, but I can't remember what his name is. Like that's mostly my concern for the Yozakura family right now. It's exactly how long is it intended to go for, and can the author like build it to go that far? Because I definitely enjoy it so far. I mean, we're what, like 70 something chapters in. I do like it. I think it's pretty good. But the biggest thing that bothered me about it, the older brother was always trying to forget his name, Kyoichiro or whatever. He bothered me for so long, like the first 45 chapters, and he started to get better. So I was happy about that. And then like the art, I think the characters are pretty solid, and like I said, I've been enjoying it. Nazi's L-tier power should be able to enter form at will. Be like he can enter it because of the world more magic. I wonder if he, like, what I'm hoping for is that he can use the flame he had in his whole Aetherius Dragon Force. And it's like he doesn't have that same level of power, but he's stronger, but has those flames, and he's just using them. I think that would be really cool. He just has those busted-ass frickin' demon dragon flames getting ready to erase shit from existence. We'll probably see what exactly his advanced, transcendent magic is next chapter, or at least a part of it. Just because, like, he's obviously next to fight. Just like what we saw with Erza. But Erza's, in this chapter, was less an advanced magic, rather than her magic amount is way more that she was able to do this. But that's really going to depend. Like, that was only, again, the first display of what she could do. Lucy's first thing was literally just being able to summon without her keys. So who knows what everybody's going to get to, do in total. But yeah, there's definitely a black mixed with the white Vigor. Its ability is to balance. I would assume so. My guess of black Vigor is it can just kind of like ink or like paint. Black will just kind of like darken the rest of them and ultimately like overwhelm the others. Kind of just imagine like it's a virus taking over whatever it is. But it would make sense. Becomes an animalistic if he does. We'll see. How many Dragon Eaters do you think there'll be? How many do we have right now? We have the initial 3. We had Nibiru. We had Wraith. The Dragon Slayer Knights. I assume there's 4 of them, but we'll just count right now. Suzaku and Georg. So what is that like? Like 6 right now, or sorry, 7, right? 7 right now. The main 3. Yeah. The 2 that show up in Yggdrasil, and then Georg, who we saw right after Elmina, and then Suzaku. So 7. Funny enough, 7, but I mean, there's gonna be more. Comic Human Torch beats the duck. What is he gonna do? He's gonna throw fire at Natsu and he's gonna eat it. The thing is, when it comes to Slayers, is they're so ridiculously unfair in their elemental matchup, especially because they can adapt to them. They can literally adapt to other variations of their elements. Wouldn't mind if Diabolos are anti-villains and not full. I think they are. I mean, I don't think they're villains. And especially after the chapter when we had Suzaku talking to the Grand Whiteout Priestess, I don't think Diabolos are villains. Yeah, Jason knows. They think Fairy Tail's the enemy. They've been getting in their way. It's the same way that Fairy Tail sees Diabolos as their enemy because they've been getting in their way. You think Asta's other swords will evolve like the Demon Destroyer? I assume so. I really want to know what else they do. I think the anti-magic pulse, like, assuming it's a pulse. If it's literally he can just make a bubble of anti-magic where all magic within it is erased over a given period of time, I think that'll be too broken for Asta early on. Like, I had an idea for one where it was like, Asta hits a spell, it gets absorbed in the sword, but it's like, like every spell is converted to physical strength for him. And when I was thinking about it initially, because I was thinking about just like what would future swords for Asta be, I was like, that's too much for Asta right now. That would be too broken. That would be like Asta's perfect end of series sword, because that fits his style so well. But like, if they all have something really unfair, I'm trying to wonder like what exactly some of the others would do. The Demon Dweller, to me, is the biggest question, because that, to me, is the most OP of his 3 swords. The fact they can just absorb magic, just zoops it right in, swallows it up. Asta body count isn't ladies. I meant it's in devils, because Nama got chopped in half, man. Black Clover is not Fairy Tail Naruto. The thing legitimately, Black Clover and Fairy Tail have there are a lot of similarities between them, and they have similar vibes, but they're done in completely different directions. And outside of like seeing certain similarities, like I can pick off a bunch of things that are similar between Noelle and Lucy, but the series themselves aren't really similar. Like the plots aren't similar. There are certain things in there like Zagrid and Hades. You got to take down this demonic figure by destroying their heart. There's stuff in there that I can see as like, hey, this can kind of connect over, like, it reminds me of this scene or something. But like the general layout of them is so much different. I guess a good one either is a flame ether based on his wrist sleeves. I actually really like if he just had wings like an Exceed and he just flew into stuff. Like, what if he had some ether wings and he just, pile drived into the masses of people? If I would build King Orders King, love it, y'all can too. It's really just going to depend on what Shonen Jump says. Again, if they end up axing it at this next issue release, I'll be more confused, because it's like it would be before they would have had to make the decision before volume sales and stuff. And on top of that, they just put out these two pieces to they just put out the 2 voice acted pieces on their YouTube channel. So it'd be really confusing to me. It'd feel like such a waste of money. But I mean, we'll see. Shonen Jump is pretty cutthroat with a lot of their stuff. It makes me wish so bad that that he ended up getting a completely different magazine. I wish he went to Shonen Magazine instead of Shonen Jump.
It's your boy Phil Jones in the house. What's up, Phil Jones? How's it going? Sure gonna stop Racer? I don't think he's gonna stop him. There's no way. 2 new series are adding our trash, in my opinion. I haven't looked at them. Can you at me on any of them? So one of the reasons why I'm hesitant on if the series getting axed next is Build King is someone said one of the 2 series up and coming is going to be a gag series. So it wouldn't really make sense to axe 2 non-gag series and then bring in a regular series, whatever, Battle Shonen or whatever it's going to be, and then another gag series. But I mean, we'll see. My assumption is the thing that's going to get axed if it's not Build King is going to be that high school family, because I've never once seen anybody talk about that. Or what is it, the Magu-chan one, the one where it's like the chick's hanging out with some Cthulhu creature in chibi form. I mean, but who knows? Haru versus Dante. Haru can literally cancel everything Dante can do. He just pulls out he just pulls out Rune Save. He pulls out freaking Gravity Core. He can just run fast right through it, or he just uses Revolt. Revolt shit will cancel dark and evil things. You know his body count? You know it's got to have a pretty fair body count. Like, you know, it's been killing people like since like around the start. How do you think E&D would serve as a final boss in a possible next generation? I don't think it'd be E&D. I really don't. It'd be really weird if it was, because it would be like what, Nashi or whatever their daughter's name is, Earthline. Just because Earthline names might be different, than the Edalus names, could be the same. The reason why it makes me wonder if they're gonna name their kids the same is like, these guys exist. You're just gonna name your kid the exact same thing. I don't know. Either way, I know it'd be really weird if Natsu's daughter, is like the main opponent for like a next gen thing would be her dad. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm sure Mishima could work somewhere around it, make him kind of like the next act of Logia. It'd be asked if Asta are stronger than Fuegoleto knows after this arc. That's one of the things that'd be kind of weird to me. Is like the power jump. It is potentially really dangerous, just in general. I'm really. One thing that I'm waiting on before I kind of get crazy when it comes to Black Clover's power scaling is I'm waiting for a official statement of where Zagrid fits in here, because it's like we don't actually know if Zagrid is weaker or stronger than Nama and Lilith. The only thing that makes these people say okay maybe is the fact that they're on the Quflof tree, but he isn't. But as far as we know, he could have been. He could have just died. Or he could just be a high-level devil from a different floor just not on the Quflof tree. Because we had, like, the statements about Megicula being strong, potentially stronger than Zagrid and stuff. But Megicula should be on a much higher floor than Nama and Lilith. Like, that's not... Like, that definitely... It, like, should be a factual thing. It'll be really weird if Nama and Lilith are above Megicula, because they're the lowest floor Quflof people, so they would, like, Megicula would have to not be on the Quflof in order to, like, for these two to be above him. I'd like there to be ability either Vigor or by a tool it changes the contrast, or it either changes the cooler or just weakens strengthens it. Yeah, I'm really curious to know if there's a way to replenish your Vigor. Like, do you just have a set amount for your whole life, or is there a way to, like, replenish? Like, if I spend, I don't know, the equivalent of 5 months of Vigor, is there a way to gain it back? Like, maybe that's one of the things about Build Kings and, like, all these powerful buildings, is you have to go into these buildings in order to gain Vigor back. Like, you could just kind of gain small amounts back by going inside. I don't know. Like, say you had some form of giant red Vigor recovery building. So, like, a bunch of people with red Vigor would go there and just kind of hang out, to recover and gain their Vigor back. I don't know. That's some of those things that, unless the series continues on, we won't know. Because he has girls. What mean? I don't even know. Final boss would be the god of Cursed Seraph. Oh, Aung Saram. I can see it. Torch can also use plasma. I don't know why that's really going to matter against Nazi. He can just adapt to it. Hot as a supernova. Natsu went plank temperature. Natsu should have went theoretically into plank temperature. That's infinite heat. Like, his body already withstood conceptual burning fire twice. Can anti-magic do light magic copy attribute like the whip but anti-magic version? I assume so. I don't think it'll be as flexible. And I kind of don't want him to have that just because, like, if Asta keeps getting too many things, he's going to steer away from, like, his whole general build. Like, I know some people want different weapons. I kind of want him to stay with swords. I don't even really want a shield. I'd be okay with the shield, but I don't really want one. I don't know. I know some people really want, like, some different sets for Asta's, like, moveset. Like, different weapons. I don't really know about it. Like, I'm kind of fine if he just sticks with swords. I don't really know what else he could use that wouldn't feel weird. You know, 5-leaf. I don't want that. I don't know. You know, if Yuno became a 5-leaf, I'd want it to be temporary and somehow his Grimoire gets cleansed so it's not a Black Clover. Just because that's Asta's thing. Not to learn, true fire is the human torch. Burn a black hole. Natsu, like, burning a black hole, like Gildart's crushed one. Natsu burnt one. What do you mean? Do you think it's possible for Wendy to take someone's devil fruit with a separation enchantment? Maybe. That's actually a maybe. Because, like, the separation enchantment is different than something like Raise or something that just cancels out, like, a status ailment. Separation enchantment, you know, goes down to, including taking stuff out of their body, or undoing possessions. Maybe the thing about devil fruits is we still, 1,000 chapters plus in, still don't really know how they work. But, I mean, maybe for the future, because I think they work genetically, so I would assume that, I don't know, it's really weird, because, like, we've only seen Wendy doing a couple things, and Irene doing a couple things. Maybe if you did, like, a conceptual thing on top of it, like a conceptual enchantment on top of a separation enchantment, I don't really know. Wax the build hero, I hope so. Talking about you saying Eraser Stomp Shinra. Wait, what? I didn't say anything about Shinra. Human Destroyer is more OP through having anti-magic than the Demon... I don't think so, because the thing about the Demon Dweller that makes the Demon Dweller so extremely dangerous, in my opinion, is, like, do you remember when Veto got stabbed with it? It was draining his magic. So if Asta, any point Asta, say, pierces somebody with it, even I would assume if it's like it cuts into them, it should be draining a little bit of magic out of their body. Whereas the Demon Destroyer Sword, really, it has a good usage, but it's not as overall dangerous, I would say, to really deal with. Who's the best new gen female? I'd probably go with Noelle. Like, Noelle's just really rounded. She's got, like, already, like, a really good development. She's got her own fights and her own plot stuff going on. She's got her own moments and her own goals. All kind of, like, while also having her connections to, like, the main plot, the main characters, and what... Well, she is the main character, but you know what I mean. She's got a lot going on for her. I would also say Rebecca is definitely up there for Eden Zero. She's definitely one of the, you know, one of my upper picks. If you look at the new Holy Knight's axe, has 2 4-leaves on it. You know, got tired of waiting for development with the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. He probably said that Halberd was halfway. He wanted something fancier. I showed J-Cloud that guy because he's the guy was using cloud magic. I forgot Shinra goes light speed. Isn't that just with the blessing though? Easy win for Shinra. Yeah. So would Devil Union Fate release affect Fairy Tail characters' magic? No character in particular. I mean, I would assume it would just do the same, like, magic pulse. Like, if you had magic out, it would just cancel magic in a zone. So I assume so. The thing, though, that hurts Asta, though, in that scenario is Black Clover's stats are, you know, they're fundamentally powered differently than Fairy Tail stats. When it comes to Black Clovers, a lot of the characters either have, like, for the most part, Monoskin. I guess Devils are different because they're just, you know, they're just made a negative mana and whatnot. But, like, say, you know, you have a character who's got Monoskin. They're essentially, you know, they have a force field over their body of their own mana. Asta, anti-magic, he just goes right through that. He's dealing direct damage. So any stat increases are relevant. You have this superhuman dude swing this heavy-ass sword at you. Whereas, like, someone like Natsu, not like Fairy Tail wizards are, their magic powers their stats internally. They require magic in order to power up their bodies, and so Asta's sword would literally just be hitting, and it would just be hitting the body, but it wouldn't have the same cancellation of the effects of their boosted magics. And that's one of the things I've mentioned a little bit before, It's similar to how like the Demon Slayer is much better in Black Clover, but the Demon Dweller is actually better in Fairy Tail. Because if you, the same thing with Fairy Tail, like I just explained, and if you say Asta stabs somebody with a Demon Dweller, you're draining the magic in their body, which is way more dangerous for a Fairy Tail wizard than a Black Clover wizard. Because Fairy Tail wizards, again, their body requires the magic to operate on a lot of levels. So if they lose their magic too fast, it's like essentially like if you suddenly got dehydrated. You probably like feel terrible. Your head would be all messed up. You wouldn't really know what to do. You'd have no energy. What's up, Rex? How's it going, Gino Jace? How are you doing today? I have a question. Would Zeref and Aknologi exist in Edelus or not because they don't have magic? Like if they went there, I mean, Zeref would still have his curse stuff, so he'd be fine. They wouldn't have magic, but it legitimately wouldn't surprise me if Zeref could instantly figure out a way around that. Just because Zeref was a magic genius. Aknologia would have a bad time. Aknologia would pretty much just get depowered and be a normal person. He'd be stuck there. If only they had a way to send him over. That'd be one of those things where it's like, hey man, if we, can we get this information from you in case we run over this problem again, so we ever need to send a dragon guy here? How was an Edelus Natsu when Natsu's 400 years in the past? Yeah, but time works differently in a lot of aspects, as well as like the characters now they're born. Like, look at Wendy and Edelus as older. Edelus Jalal is the son of Edelus Makarov. Like, a lot of things don't fully connect the same way. We have Mashle for a gag series. Mashle is where I assume Sakamoto is going to be, where it's going to be serious with gags and comedy in it, where it's like a little bit like to the right, more into the action and serious plot, but it still has like a good chunk of gags and comedy in there. It's really going to depend on how things go in the future. We haven't seen MASH have any real challenges, but I mean, it's the series is only like a year old. First decides to go back with Team Natsu and shows an apology. Oh, I would assume so. If she decides to stay in Earthland and stay in the guild, I would assume she's going to apologize. Back to Sasuke was in the Fairy Tail Guild. How many fangirls would he get? I don't really know. Like, who would really like be? Are there anybody in is there anybody in the guild that would be like a fangirl of Sasuke? Like, I can't really think of any. Most of the girls are tanking. Like, even Kinana's in an official relationship with Cobra now, so I'm like, I don't really know. I don't think there's anybody like that. Like, anybody that would be a fangirl for Sasuke, I would assume would also fangirl for Rogue. And nobody in the Fairy Tail Guild fangirls for Rogue, so I assume nobody at that point. Witch Queen has to show up eventually. Devils will go there, shows up this baking. I assume that's the case. It'd be really weird if the Witch Queen doesn't participate, like, considering that everything the Spade is doing affects her. Everything they're doing is going to branch over into her forest. If Natsu had Salamander, Natsu would be even more, like, he would just be riding around on the thing. They'd be shooting fireballs at people. What if there was an Ice Dragon Slayer? Gray was originally going to be an Ice Dragon Slayer. Originally, Mishima was going to make it so Gray became an Ice Dragon Slayer, but he ended up becoming a Devil Slayer instead, which is fine, because, I mean, I say fine, but it's like, it makes way more sense. Making Gray an Ice Dragon Slayer, I'm sure he could have made it make sense in the plot, but obviously what happened with Gray's past, it makes more sense to make him a Devil Slayer. See. I'm a little strong in Zagreus. I think his abilities are more OP. Plus, his clear smart. That was one of the big things I talked with about to Josuke about. Is Zagreus gets hurt? He says heal. The monk got his hand cut off, and he didn't do anything about it. I don't think he has that level of regeneration, and it makes me wonder if. If they're actually higher level than him. I think that's going to be shown next chapter. We could get something like say in the next chapter that it's like Namaz just dead and he doesn't have a devil heart. I think, at least, I'm going to go on the belief at that point that the devil hearts are something you get, like something that is, like, indicates a certain level of rank. Like, say, only 4th floor and above devils, like high-class devils, have a devil's heart they have to destroy. Whereas, like, maybe Nama, he just has to cut in half. He just has to kill. I don't know, though. Well, Mishima's gonna have Gray. Yeah, he's gonna be an Ice Dragon Slayer at one point. Just like Wendy originally was going to be a water dragon slayer. Also, when I saw Lami and Lucy a while back, I had Monster Musume Vietnam flashbacks. Oh, the Snake Lucy? Yeah, I can see it. Level Asta Demon Slayer Sword Evolution would be where he split into multiple mini daggers. That'd be a little weird for Asta. That's like some King stuff, some Harlequin. People want Asta to have anti-magic spells, so which spell would you like to have him have? If Asta had an anti-magic spell, I don't know. Let me think off the top of it. You know what? I wish he would throw his sword like how Libe was doing the anime and have it spin and turn into a big anti-magic circular saw. Rax, do you feel about people saying Tonkatsu and its continuously evolving vigor would potentially match Goku in power if the series continues? You can say that about any character, though. Any character with, like, a feature, like, or an author could easily make a character as powerful as they want. Like, next chapter, you could have Deku become as powerful as Superman. Like, he could just decide, yeah, he unlocked all his powers, he's as powerful as Superman Prime, he could recraft the multiverse or something. Like, that's entirely up to the authors. The whole evolution thing really would just come down to, like, the events in the story. It's a possibility based, like, not even talking about what I just said about, like, you know, obviously authors can do what they want. Just off of the past history, like, Toriko had crazy power levels, and Build King already has a lot of crazy stuff set up. So if Build King ends up getting to live longer, then yeah, it has that potential to get kind of crazy enough. I don't know if it would ever get to a point where he could fight Goku. It would really come down again to how long they let him go. If it's not, if it continues after this next issue. Then you see Asta the same thing with his swords like Libby did the fight. I just want to see him use the circular saw style. Asta versus Haru would beat Asta's ass. Like, he's one, like, his swords aren't magic. He has a light sword that you know, goes back against devils and darkness and stuff. He's physically stronger. He's a better swordsman. Like, he would beat Asta's ass. Like, he would just keep putting him in the dirt. Physically, how old do you think the Shining Stars are? I'm guessing somewhere in their 30s or 40s. I've seen to watch Rave Master, so I'll go with Asta, especially W. Haru's really impressive. Homura over Rebecca, or Homura versus Rebecca. Homura should still win that pretty easy. Rebecca's not very strong. She just has a really good ability. I think most will end up with. Who would be a really weird one? Luck? I don't know. Wasn't forcing that Dragon Slayer out of Devil Dragon Force separating genetics though. She that sort of. I mean, she canceled that out. She like pulled all the magic out of his body. So it's a different concept, just in the way that like their powers work at a fundamental level. But like I said, I could see it working, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't work. So can Wendy low diff any second generation Dragon Slayer with separating Shaman? Probably. She can honestly probably take the little cream out of their body, like no problem. I look forward to hearing Xiao Mei in the anime. Xiao Mei's gonna be really weird, because Xiao Mei is an odd character in general. Like, I'm so curious as what Mishima's gonna do with her in the long run. Edolas Seraph and Acnologia question. I mean, they might exist somewhere. They might be dead. Asta body count? Yeah, he killed Dama. I assume Nama's dead. He chopped the dude in half. Mashal, like, with anti-magic, so he should be dead. Mashal is best at each amazing character development, lots of fights before. My favorite part about Mashal is the paneling. I think that his paneling is really good. The way that he just, like, some of the scenes where he's just having Mash beat up on some people. I really want to see some of. Something come my throat. I want to see some of the crazier magics too. There was that one guy, what's his name, Warcell, and he had those hands like come through like a hole in space, and they looked really spooky. And then you had that like that big castle where all the main bad guys are gonna be. Yeah, Wendy's gonna be a water dragon slayer. I brought that up. She's gonna have a wand too. Our Devil Slayers OP. We only have 2 Devil Slayers. Build King, by the way. Wait, let's see. Alright, so I read 2 chapters. My bad, I didn't read much, but I got started. Work score from those chapters. Quite unique, interesting. I'll definitely read more. I'm glad to hear Kino. I like Build King is one of the things about Build King. Legitimately, is it's very different than a lot of the other shonens coming out, because a lot of the other shonens are trying to do shonen without it being within the shonen line. And that's one of the things I think that made Black Clover successful, is it has a very strong core shonen style to it, where something like you have variations outside of that have like tried to deter away from the shonen vibe successfully. Like you have My Hero, you have Chainsaw Man and stuff, but like with everything trying so hard to be way out of the shonen mold, I really like the fact about Build King is that it has that very shonen core vibe to it, while being so different than the other series out right now. I really like the main character. I think that he has like just a general good personality. His dynamic with his brother, the power system is really good. I really like the whole setup that they've had with Tonkachi and Rengoku's Vigor. It's just a matter of time at this point. We should get the next chapter schedule within the next day or so and find out if Build King's gonna keep going or not. I hope it does. Like I said, I do generally like it. Gormana, a devil, is born with a higher intelligence. It seems that way. I mean, I don't know, because Lipe's not that, like, he has no mana, and he's not, like, brain dead. Hope we get Sun Magic introduced next. I saw the Jack Oates and J Club talking about that. I don't really want that, just because, like, we just had a Fire Devil, and it's like, I know there's a difference between, like, if you have Sun Magic and Fire Magic, but it's like, it's still in the same realm of possibilities. I hope to be something different. I really want, like, a good hacks power. Like, I really want just a tricky ability to deal with at base root. Not like a power that has a hacks, like their whole fire and, devil, fire, devil, ice stuff. I want something that it's, like, maybe not as broken as Zagrid's, but if we could get, like, I was talking something, like, we get a magnetism devil. Or, like, say, like, a devil that has, I'm trying to think. Because I'm trying to think beyond just, like, basic elements right now. Like, what if we got a devil that maybe had some form of, like, living magic? Like, what if it could just make stuff come to life? Like, it just, shoots a spell at the ground, and all of a sudden, like, the stones in the castle floor become, like, a creature. Or something like that. Like, an ever-changing creature. I don't know. I want something just really different. Like, I don't mind having, basic elements. Like, you're going to get a lot of those. But at the same time, I really want to see some stuff that's just generally really weird. Because we have so many characters with different kind of general elements and whatnot. But, like, the devils are, like, the devil magic is its own class. Like, we've seen Demon Light, devil, like, Demon Fire, Devil Fire, like, their devil attribute is, like, something that, is an evolved state. I don't know if it's an attribute, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just a higher tier of magic than than the regular one. So it's still different, but I want to see more crazy, weird devil abilities. I think we'll get an extremely powerful Dragon Slayer with element of nature, Earth, being the emperor of a foreign country, invading Fiora in a future generation. I think that'd be really cool. But if Mishima did that, I would kind of hope instead of a Dragon Slayer, he'd use a God or a Devil Slayer, because like the time, I think the time for like a lot of Dragon Slayer focused stuff is right now. Whereas like if he ends up doing a Dragon Slayer main bad guy in a Next Generation series, I mean, granted, it would be a long while from now, but I don't know. I don't think it would. I don't know. It'd feel a little weird. I would rather a God Slayer or something. Maybe we can finally get a God Slayer that Mishima's nice to. Rivals between Fairy Tail Diablos, Erza, Kyria, Grayskull, and Natsu Mad Mole. Natsu's isn't going to be Mad Mole. There's no way Natsu's going to go after Mad Mole again. Natsu's got it done. He's already figured out his weakness. I actually really want to see Mad Mole fight Mimi. I want to know how that fight goes. Other than that, Gajil versus Mad Mole is the matchup I want. Tonkachi and Renga versus Goodwin. Tonkachi should be fine. Tonkachi legitimately would be fine. Like, that feat he has in the first chapter is, like, solid town level, and he can spam swing that. So he just keeps hitting Goodwin down. Now, Lucy and Wendy need some rivals from Diablos. I know some people have been talking about Wendy getting a rival. Like, with Lucy, you can just give her Brandish and have hers be, a rival of her own plotline, her own stuff going on. But I legitimately do want Wendy to get, like, a Dragon Slayer rival. I think that'd be really cool. And we get something like, we get something just like some other childlike Dragon Slayer that she's got beef with. I think that would be really fun. But let's go. That's going basically anime. How are you doing, man? Rax, if you're on Josuke stream tonight, give Asta versus Revchi a 10 out of 10. Did he already do his stream? What time is he doing it? 'Cause I thought Josuke was doing his Black Clover fight stream way earlier. Like, I talked to him the other day, and he said it was going to be like 1. Oh, I accidentally clicked on a YouTube video, or a video on Twitter. I got to be careful on that. Especially on the dude with Poe. He's always got some weird sus videos going on. Would Natsu be a threat to any Otsutsuki? Can he be? Yeah, he can burn them. Like, he can burn concepts. And he would be able to burn chakra, just given, like, equal energy. So, you know, creatures that thrive on chakra, Natsu is not something they want to deal with. I don't think all devils have strong healing abilities. Otherwise, Nama would have healed his arm. Well, that's one of the things I think is a potential indicator that that Zagreus is above Lilith and Nama. But we'll see. Like I've said before, when it comes to that, it literally can just come down to a statement between, you know, maybe next chapter they'll make a comment about Zagreus being either like a weakling or like a really strong devil. We just gotta, like, it's a really annoying piece right now, just trying to figure out where exactly those people stand. I don't know, like, I don't think it would matter, like, unless you were specifically trying to, like, figure out, like, power scale stuff, but I mean, like, it's still a question that exists right now in the fandom that people have been asking about for a while. Rex is great OP, or is he not OP because his awakening magic, he will likely be the strongest fairy tale members think he's OP when he's awakened magic. It really depends on what it is, like, whatever his transcended ice make or transcended devil slate magic does. Forgot about Libe. Yeah, Libe kind of like beats up against it. Natsu versus Gray versus Twin Devils. Oh, Gray can solo. What they can do, Gray already dealt with. Gray just freezes them. And Gray does tons of extra damage to demons and devils. Keep that in mind. When I was rewatching stuff in the Tartarus arc yesterday, and Natsu really wasn't a threat to Margear outside of Dragon Force. With Dragon Force, he could hurt Margear. But prior to that, like, he hit Margear with the Lightning Flame Dragon Firing Hammer, did nothing. And that was base Margear. That wasn't his Aetherius form. Gray was like the linchpin in trying to get him into that. It was literally like how they were trying to get anti-magic into, you know, into hitting like Dante. Yeah, Gray be fine. Natsu and Gray can both solo. Gray would be able to no div. Maybe not no div. Oh, he's so much more powerful scaling wise. He should be able to no div. Here's the theory. What if Oxnard was an ancient mage who became the champion of a god? He'd say the god of death or war and created several curses. Now he's a fake god, but is immortal himself. That'd be kind of weird, because then it'd be like, well, then who are the actual gods? Who's above Ankh-Saram? Plague magic? Plague magic would be cool. I would love something like that. Or just like a pestilence magic. We get in some, you know, you get some more spooky biblical stuff. Just like creates plagues of like flesh-eating bugs or something. Maybe bugs that can eat magic. Ice is dangerous in the real world. Oh, 100%. Favorite Black Clover opening? Mine's still 10. I really like 10. 3 is definitely up there for me. 3 was my favorite until 10 came out. Brandish has appeared on both Dragon arcs, which she appeared in Elentier, Machinist, Giffen arc, and Leafer. The thing is right now that really depends on that is like the same thing that depends on a lot of characters of how they show up this arc, and it's Celine. Celine can make Brandish appear next chapter if she feels like it. Like Celine holds all the power right now in who appears in this arc. Let's see. I don't know what I just said, Phil. Like it could have been a couple minutes ago or what. Let's see. Any fairy tale characters came to Earth, they would die because there's no magic on Earth. They wouldn't die, but it'd just be like when they first went to Edelus, or when they went to Edelus recently. They would just have no magic. They would have none of their powers. They would still have like Natsu would still have aspects of his dragon physiology, like so would Wendy. But they wouldn't have any of their magic abilities. How strong? Like, how would Natsu do in Black Clover, Bleach, Naruto? I mean, he can solo for Black Clover pretty easily. Bleach, it really comes down to like when it comes to certain big characters in Bleach, or like it really comes down to like if like Natsu achieving that Savage Dragon Fire, because like he can kill Yuhabak, but he needs his whole concept burning fire to do it. With Naruto, I don't. Does Naruto have any like crazy immortals like that? Someone like Yhwach. Like I know they have like high power levels, but like I can't think of anything like that where it's like you have some unfair immortality hacks. What about Yami versus Patriot? That was probably one of my favorites. I knew the anime needed to get to that point in the first season when the anime started, because I knew they needed to get at least within the span of the first set of episodes. I don't remember, like I remember when it came out. I didn't remember how many they were doing, but I was at the same time I was just thinking like they have to get at least through the cave arc, because they have to get to a point that's gonna hype everybody up and want more. And the cave, like stuff that went on the cave, was the best part for it. Natsu stops Black Clover, Bleach, and only a couple Naruto can contend him. There's like some people in Naruto and Bleach, but like Natsu can still do pretty well, and he's not even at max power yet. Gray stomps the Twin Devils. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Oh, it answers, Bud. Like Gray can have no problem. When you get caught up on Fairy Tail, you'll understand, Bud. Like Fairy Tail has like just crazier power levels, and like they've dealt with way crazier things. Honestly, the Devils after Nama, they're going to be super powerful and some ridiculous hacks. I just hope that they're not stupid. Nama and Lilith, they're idiots. Like, he got his hand cut off, so clearly whenever this opponent, you know, that he's up against, this, you know, dude with human with devil-like powers all in black, just affected you. Like, it just cut off your hand. So, how about being smart? Oh, no, I'm just gonna rush in. I'm just gonna rush right in and then get chopped in half. Because I didn't know anything about my opponent. I didn't think smart. That's, again, another thing about Zagreus. Zagreus was smart. He wouldn't have, like if he was as dumb as these guys, they would have beat him in the first bout. Like, that whole set when he, like, when Asta and Yuno had that, like, upgraded forms, and they rushed in, that would have been the end for Nama and Lilith. They'd be dead. What's up, JK Network? How's it going? Let me see. Don't say cap because it's your lowering grade down to Asta versus, like, wait, what? I don't know what this is. Oh, yeah, I already... Okay, that is about the Twin Devil stuff. Hey, everyone, just watched the new Eden Zero anime with the great... and it's great. We wish Rave Master the same treatment. I would love a Rave Master reboot for the anime. So if Shura actually fights Eraser even for a few seconds, it would prove that he's Erasio and stays here. I assume he is. There's no way he's going to no-diff him now. So I want to say earlier he's going to no-diff, which is crazy. Gray and Asta are key players against Devils. Without them, game over. Like in video games. Yeah, pretty much. Eden Zero had episode 1. They had the first 2 episodes are out. Illusion Magic similar to Aizen's Bankai. That'd be really cool if they just had like one devil that just played mind games with people the whole time. Bionic's ROM theory is based around my playthrough of Skyrim being the champion of Daedra. I know Mishima likes those games, so maybe, I don't know, maybe. Rack's thoughts on Attack on Titan author fumbling the ending. I haven't checked out the ending. Do some people think the ending was fumbled? I have no idea about it. I would have to wait and look. I don't know what like would be bad about it. My assumption on how Attack on Titan ends is a lot of the characters are going to be really bummed out and they're not going to have a good time. They're going to have, like, a lot of them are going to have gotten screwed over and their lives are going to be depressing. There's going to be a lot of depression. That's just how it is. Remo can beat Natsu. I have no idea how powerful Remo is, though. Yeah, but he's got dragon fire that burns concepts. Super broken. Imagine to go to a world with no Ether Nanos, they just can't use their powers there. I mean, there's no Ether Nano there either. Like, they took all the magic in Edelus is gone. Their world is literally the same as our real life one. So sending them to our real world, they'd just be standing around. They wouldn't know what's going on. Hope we get an epic space battle between Shura's fleet and Erasers. I expect he's gonna send out a bunch of his dudes soon. Or maybe, like, let Eraser, like, show up and then try and fight him. Let's see. What about Natsu against the Twin Devils? He burns them. Burns them alive. Roman Tartarus, they destroyed the Euthano when they were dying. That's because the way that Face was working is it was canceling out the magic also in their body. But it's doing it way more aggressively rather than if they just teleported somewhere and just magic kind of dispersed. Versus, like, a full erasure, like, internally as well. Let's see. I'm almost caught up with the chat, so we're about there. He isn't that strong, not to stomp. Say, yeah, Don's pretty weak. Erza stomp Zoro. I mean, yeah. That's not a fight. Or is Oranometry and Grand Chariot comparable? I would assume that would really just come down to the caster, because we know that Oranometria is a really big deal spell. My cat is smashing up all over my keyboard. Stop it. It's a top class spell, but it's not like the first time she ever used it would instantly be better than every time Jalal ever used the Grand Chariot. Jalal is obviously extremely powerful. There's probably just a generally higher threshold. Attack on Titan fans are wilding out. I'd have to look. I have no idea. But they're known for not being happy about things, so I don't know. But at the same time, that's what Isayama said he wanted to do. He wanted to, like, crush all their hopes and dreams. So, like, if he has an ending that, like, got him all upset and sad, he's probably doing his job. Which guild in Fairy Tail has big waifus? Has the big waifus? I mean, probably the Fairy Tail guild. They have probably the most. Would you say Hades' story is tragic because he started as a decent person and a friend of Mavis, but turned to evil and died evil, even though he deserved it? I mean, I don't know about tragic. I mean, he kind of just got what was coming to him. He was messing around with things he shouldn't have been. Anything, I think, just kill everyone. He just murder everybody. Throw a grenade in there. Have like a Titan. The Colossal Titan is actually one of 10 million, and they all fuse into a flesh meteor. Well, I guess part of that was true. Not the flesh meteor. They throw it into the planet, and then Eren yells at them, and they explode. I have no idea. Attack on Titan too dark? Don't read Berserk, then. Not all devils have to be smart, just like Dante and his guardians on a pure instinct. Oh, yeah, but the thing is, like, how... like, they don't have to be smart, but like, why are these two so dumb? They just run in and they get killed. If all the other devils are this dumb, we're gonna run through them super fast. That's the thing. Let me see. Let's see. Erza has more space battles than all of One Piece with ocean battles. That's one of the reasons I really am hoping that Mishima doesn't get too crazy with a lot of power levels. Is Oda even brought that up? Is that, like, why even have the ocean battles if the people on the boats are more powerful than the boats? So I'm fine with, obviously, like, just, he wants to do some crazy power level stuff, but I'm hoping he keeps, like, the ships always relevant and doesn't get too crazy. I would rather the ships and, like, large scale weaponry be like a lot of the big stuff. Or is it Stomp Zora? Yeah, that's a fight. Oh, I already read this. Let's see. I think Mishima will include more races in the future. I hope so. I'm really looking forward to Eden Zero's, like, whatever, like, maybe that one species that's, like, the super top tier alien race in the universe. They're, the pinnacle of creation. Or maybe that'll be whatever, like, robot race Ziggy creates or something. Do I think Nama is done for? I assume so. Dude got chopped in half. You don't gonna be scary if you let him do what he wants? I mean, yeah, but then you have to let him do what he wants. Just beat him before then. I think the Temple will be the closest planet that's Earth-sized besides Blueguard, because it narrows planet has over 100,000 ships on standby. I mean, that's true. It's definitely big. I mean, like, the ship sizes obviously are gonna be an important factor. But you can have 100,000 of those ships and not be Earth-sized. It could easily be like a couple countries. But I think, logically it could easily also be Earth-sized. It's gonna depend. It's one of those things, like, I wish so bad we just got a data book where it just showed, like, hey, this planet is X miles wide or something, so you could just get through this. Because I don't want to gloss over it too much, because I have been saying frequently that people need to, actually look into the sizes of the planets before they get all crazy when it comes to feats. Because all the planets have varied in size so drastically. Imagine Noel's magic level on a wizard saint. Wait, what? What does that mean? Noelle's magic level on a wizard saint. I have no idea what that means. That's her level on a different level, or what? What do you mean? When he is around, Metria freezes the target in fear, allowing them to be one-hit KO'd. Otherwise, they plenty of time to strike back. I mean, we saw in Tartaros that attacking her didn't do anything because she just created a water shield. I think it's one of those things that, like, it just happens a lot faster than you would expect in reality of, like, fiction. It's going to be going at just a much, much more quick pace. Erza has big waifus? Yes, it does. They come to Earth and use all the magic on Earth. They won't regenerate because they can't use magic. Well, they can't use magic if they come over here, though. It'd be the same as, like, when they went to Edolis. Fairy Tail waifus or Black Clover waifus. I mean, Fairy Tail, they have way badder chicks. In 138, we saw Moscow in his battle made dress as sumo suit. Maybe we'll see the button. We might finally see what the button does. I think Asta with his new form is too OP. It really depends on the timer, and then, like, when the time runs out, like, how long does he have to stay out of it. It's the specifics right now that really matter on whether or not Asta's new form is, like, gonna be I don't want to say a problem, but, like, a potential danger to a lot of tension scenarios. Let's see. Have I ever played Final Fantasy VII? I haven't. It's one of those games. Like, if I play it, though, I gotta, like I said, the remake. I could probably play the original. I do really like turn-based games. The new Erza form is cool. I really like it. I'm wondering if it has any different effects, or if it's just like, you know, she just has more swords. Just because I was hoping for something crazier, but at the same time, this is just the first thing, so I can't really, like, it's not a big deal. I just gotta wait. Like a hybrid race for Erza. That's what I want. I want something where it's like every series has one species or one family line or one class. There's always, like, one specific group that's just, like, the cut above the rest, and not like the 4 Knights of the, or the, not 4 Knights, the 12 Knights of the dancing soccer and stuff like that, but more of, like, either a species or, like, maybe there's a specific type of ether gear. Maybe there's, like, people train from a specific planet or something. I don't know. Or to do better feat amongst Big Mom and Kaido than Zoro did recently. Yeah, she chopped him in half. Erza stomped Zoro. Yeah, Zoro can't compare to Erza. Like, Erza's fought so much bigger opponents. Look at Zoro against Kaido and Big Mom, and then look at Erza up against Irene. Zoro can't beat Erza, Phil Jones. Like, for real, he would get clapped so bad. Rex, since Shiki has that color effect in the anime when he uses ether gravity gear, expect Ziggy, Shirt, and Zeno to have it as well. Yeah, I assume so. It's gonna be really weird to see the Shura and Shiki use it at the same time when they get around to that, you know, years from now. I'm gonna switch over to Josuke's stream. Good stream. Moscow Supremacy. Did Josuke start streaming? I'll have to go check his out too. Oh, he's not streaming yet. He's getting ready to. I'll have to ask him, because I don't want to stream if he's already got one planned. Let's see. Yeah, Fairy Tail's a lot stronger for Universe than Black Clover, but that's just a power level thing. I watched Ben 10. I watched everything before the reboot. I don't want to watch the reboot. Josuke's stream starts in 4 minutes. Oh, that's fine. I'll probably jump over there. This was a pretty quick and easy stream. How long has this been going? Like an hour? A little over an hour. We could probably jump over to Josuke's stream. What we'll do is we'll probably raid Josuke's stream whenever it starts up. Go over there and then cause some trouble, and then go into the comments. You know, get him some more views. Get him hopefully maybe some new subscribers. He's almost at 1,000, so we need to get him to 1,000 so he can get monetized and start making cash from his YouTube videos and stuff. Yeah, he's at 820. We need 180 more. So anybody here who isn't subscribed to Josuke, you know, if you want to head over there, I'll put actually a link really quick in the I'll put a link in the chat so you guys want to open up. We'll go over there in a few minutes. We'll wait until he starts, and then we'll pop in like, hey, what's going on? You know, do all that stuff. We'll do what should we say in the comments? I would say read Build King, but I don't know until after the verdict on Build King's lifespan is is either given the thumbs up or thumbs down tomorrow. Oh, and another thing before we get to like the later end portions of the streams, I put out a Lucy video. I don't want to go too much into it just because, like, you know, obviously I want people to watch it. Is I did a video talking about, like, just her general potential, like her potential of just magic up and coming, and on top of that, her level of potential that she has from that over in what she can do in the arc itself, like in the fight against Celine. So that I'm hoping some people are, you know, really enjoy that. I looked at that for a bit before I ended up doing it, just because like I wanted that one to be a little bit more refined. Did Josuke start up? We'll go over there. We'll see what Josuke's doing. Yeah, we'll go pop over there. The only
She
thing
don't
I
love
can say,
you.
oh, he
They
just
replace
started.
her.
Let me mute that. I had it gone down. But luckily, because I have the audio going through, then we'll be able to hear it. So let's take all the people here. Let's go over there. Have I read Bastard? It's been on my list forever. We've seen bots. Wait, let me read this real quick, and then we'll go. Bots mean screwing 0. Genocided a lot so far. You think almost as bad as the elves and black clovers? Zachary turned humans against them? Not yet, but it's like it's more active because like the stuff with the elves obviously was in the past, but we saw that escalate way more seriously. Whereas like it's building up to that right now in Eden 0, but we're seeing it a lot more in real time rather than flashbacks. But yeah, let's go over to Josuke's stream. Let's get him some likes, get him some subscribers, and pump his video up. And yeah, we'll get back to the normal streams on Saturday. This was a pretty short one. I wasn't sure how long this one was going to be in general, just because I'm like the chapter isn't out yet, but I still need to do the chapter review whenever it drops, and then you know, work on that, upload it, and then get it going. But other than that, though, yeah, we'll go over to Josuke's stream. We'll talk and see what's going on over there, and then we'll, I don't know, if you got any more questions, I'll be in the chat if you guys have anything for me over there. But what should we, before we go, what should we say in the comments? The only thing I can think of is just read Build King. Let's just go with that. Hit him with the classic. If Build King does come to an end, we'll hit him, we'll go out strong. Push the agenda until the very end. But anyway, other than that, thanks everyone for showing up. It was a little bit shorter than I anticipated. I thought it'd be a little bit longer, probably like another 20 and 30 minutes. The link here, I put it in the stream already once, so I'll put it one more time here. So yeah, go over to that, go over to Josuke's channel, give him this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll get him to 1,000. Other than that though, yeah, we'll go over there, we'll tell him to read Build King, and then we'll just do a normal thing. Yeah, so thanks everyone for showing up. The link is in the chat. Otherwise, it'll be on Twitter if you go to Twitter. Thanks everyone for showing up though. Next stream on Saturday, and that'll be a normal length stream. Like these Tuesday ones are new, and they'll probably be at like weird time intervals because I started a little bit later than I wanted. Next time will be like next Tuesday stream will be like 2 weeks from now, and I'll